Hey everybody, it's Jason Creel on this Lawn Care Life. Today I'm going to show you how to fix an ugly lawn that is full of nutsedge and Kyllinga. And when I say full of it, I'm talking about big time full of it. Let me show you the yard and we're going to get started knocking out. Today's video is sponsored by Graham Spray Equipment. I use a Graham spray rig on the back of my truck. If you're looking to get into weed control and fertilization business, go to grahamsc.com. Let me show you my rig right now. There it is. That's my Graham spray rig. I got a 400-gallon split tank unit. It means it's 300 gallons on one side, 100 on the other side. And here's the yard. I was at this yard yesterday and I sprayed and I thought this yard's got so much Kyllinga, and I knew it from last year. And this is actually a relative's yard and just kind of do a minimal program on it. But if you look at the yard, it's Kyllinga. I mean, it's almost Kyllinga for days and days and days. And the other thing is Virginia Buttonweed. Okay, Kyllinga, Virginia Buttonweed, Kyllinga. When I say Kyllinga, I mean it's just matted up, like it's solid. It's almost solid Kyllinga. It's like a Kyllinga yard, and it's terrible. Now there's some yellow nutsedge and stuff like that too. Like I think this is yellow nutsedge sticking up here, and it's time of this video is May, early May, and so the Kyllinga is going nuts already. So I want to give you a few strategies on controlling this, and I may not be able to just make it look perfect. To be honest with you, probably not going to make it look perfect, but a couple things you can do to keep in mind. One thing you can do if you got a Kyllinga problem is oftentimes if you're running your irrigation all the time, just shut the thing off. And if you have a drainage problem in the yard, maybe look at getting the drainage problem fixed. So if for irrigation purposes, for us, like Bermuda grass, we tell people, instead of running your irrigation 3 or 4 times a week for 10 or 15 minutes per time, just run it one day a week for like 20 or 30 minutes per zone and give it one good soaking, and then that's it. Just turn it off. And if your yard's just saturated, just don't even run the irrigation. If it rains all the time, don't even run it. So a lot of times you'll see Kyllinga where a drain spout or air conditioner or something comes out in the yard and it stays wet all the time. You'll have Kyllinga. Well, these yards that stay saturated a lot, then they're going to have a Kyllinga problem oftentimes. So fixing the drain problem, whatever that looks like, and reducing your irrigation hopefully can help you reduce your irrigation problem. But that's not a complete solution, but that's just one thing to consider. All right, it's about a week after application. I want to stop by and show you the yard and show you what happened. It's pretty extreme results after spraying the Dismiss on the lawn. I'm going to show you the Virginia Buttonweed and the Kyllinga. So let's talk about these chemical products that you can use to control Kyllinga. And this is the part of the video where the homeowners leave comments on here talking about how much these cost. And sometimes I think people just get confused. They'll say something like one guy the other day commented that, sorry, I'm not spending $400 to spray my lawn or something like that. I was like, no, you're not spending $400 to spray your lawn. So like, for instance, that this bottle may cost $100 and some dollars, I'm not sure. But when you spray the lawn, I mean, I'm not spraying the whole lawn. Usually I'm just spot treating stuff, and it's just like a few bucks. So I mean, it's really, anyway, the chemicals can be expensive, but when you're spot treating with them, now the ones that we blanket spray are typically less expensive than the ones that we spot treat with. So anyway, let's run through these real quick. Blindside is sulfitrazone, which is the active ingredient in Dismiss, and also metsulfuron. And so sulfitrazone is what we're going to actually be using today. And I'm going to actually spray the yard and show you that. But the Blindside has the sulfitrazone and metsulfuron. So it's going to, what the sulfitrazone does, again, is the active ingredient in Dismiss, which is the product I'm using today. It basically just going to burn the Kyllinga down. And it's going to keep it controlled for a while. And maybe with multiple applications, you can actually get it to start dying. So I'm going to do one application today and try to burn the Kyllinga down and see how it goes. Now, Certainty is a sedge product, so like the nutsedge and Kyllinga, also some grassy weeds. Katana will have some effectiveness on Kyllinga. Solero, another sedge product, so for nutsedge and Kyllinga. Tribute Totals is kind of your all-in-one product for Bermuda and zoysia lawns. So it also can have some effect on sedges. And then Spectacle Flow is the pre-emergent. I've typically been using in the fall to get rid of poa annua and stuff like that, where I've started this year using it in early May, and trying to get ahead of some of the Kyllinga, because Kyllinga being an annual sedge, the spectacle flow can help reduce that, or at least suppress it, and hopefully get some results. Now sometimes I get in a yard like this, it's already early, it's early May, and this yard's already got Kyllinga in it, so I may be too late on getting ahead of some of that. But that's one idea you can do, is put spectacle out before the Kyllinga starts germinating, and hopefully that's going to keep a lot of it down. Since this yard's already loaded with Kyllinga, again, I'm going with Dismiss, and I don't actually have that one to show you, but it's the active ingredient like I showed you on the blind side, the sulfitrazone. That's what Dismiss is. So there's Dismiss NXT, Dismiss South. This is just regular old Dismiss, and I put it in my ride-on spreader for today, and I'm applying it at 9 ounces per acre. Now, Dismiss products, again, it's going to do okay on the nut sedge, burning it down a little bit, and the Kyllinga is going to burn it down a little bit. But from what I've been told, and I haven't tried this too much myself, but when multiple applications, you can eventually start to get results. So you may do 6 ounces and then come back later and do 6 ounces. Now in the middle of the summer, you got to be careful when it starts getting hot weather about burning up, doing some damage to the grass. Now this is a Bermuda yard. Bermuda's pretty tough, and I'm out here fairly early in the morning. It's not that hot, and it's also May and not mid-July, you know, so all those things are factors. If I was gonna do it in July, the middle of summer, when it's even hotter, I probably would definitely want to get out there early in the morning and then try to maybe do a lower rate. So hopefully, because it being cooler weather right now and the Kyllinga's a little bit younger, then I can go in at 9 ounces instead of where in the summer I would go with a lower rate. What I also did is I put metsulfuron in the ride-on spreader sprayer here. So oftentimes I'll use the gram rig and I'll mix up, it being a split rig the way I'll do it. Sometimes I'll make the large side, I'll have calibrated for my hose over there, so if I want to spray a yard with a hose. And then this small side, you'll see I've got some blue dye in here, and it turns it a little bit green. I don't know if you can see with the shadows, but this side's got some blue dye. So I'll flip the valves and switch it over to this small side, and it's calibrated for my ride-on spreader sprayer. So I can spray it directly in the tank here, and it's all right, because this sprays a lot less volume than I do coming out of the hose. So anyway, I'm gonna spray it. We're gonna come back and look at it and see if we can get some burn down, noticeable burn down. And again, you could do a follow-up application later and keep pounding it down. And at least it's gonna keep it suppressed for a while, because this stuff is just so annoying and hard to get rid of. But you know, hopefully over time you can actually kill some of it too. But what we're planning on doing this video is spray it and then come back and show you the results at least after one application. Let's get started spraying. Now, putting the metsulfuron in there with the Dismiss, you're basically making your own blind side. That can help with some of the broadleaf weeds. It can help with the Virginia buttonweed, which is nearly impossible weed to kill, but it give you a burn down on it too and make it look like it's dying, even though it's probably not going to die. So anyway, let's check back on this, see how it looks, you know, maybe in 2 weeks or so, I'm not sure, and come back and see what kind of burn down action we got. I'm not expecting it to kill it off, but at that point you can do another application, but we'll want to at least show you the results after the first application on this video. So we'll check back soon. All right, it's about a week after application. I want to stop by and show you the yard and show you what happened. It's pretty extreme results after spraying the Dismiss on the lawn. I'm going to show you the Virginia buttonweed and the Kyllinga. This yard's kind of an extreme example because it's just loaded with Kyllinga, and I don't know how well the color is showing up on the camera, but when I pulled up from a distance, it's like, wow. I kind of wondered, did I turn the yard brown. It actually didn't turn the yard brown. It's just there's so much Kyllinga. We haven't had a whole lot of rain. As I'm looking down in here, the grass is still green. Matter of fact, I don't think I did little to no damage to the ground. I'm not saying it didn't, you know, ding it up just a little bit, but I really think it's fine. But you can see the Kyllinga here and the brown color, where it's just it basically burning it up. You know, same thing. This Virginia buttonweed. Now, is this Kyllinga dead? No, it's not dead. Do I think it's going to come back? Yes, I think it's going to come back. You could probably hit it with another application and try to burn it down even further. But basically, I'm just, it's a tough weed to kill, okay? So it may take multiple applications of doing this, but I wanted to show you what using Dismiss or the active ingredient sulfitrazone, what it does to Kyllinga, because it's pretty good. If you're just looking for some burn down action to knock it back, that's definitely what I got here. So I might check back on this one more time and then wrap up the video, because I want to give it another week or so and then come back and look at it again. It's been about 2 weeks since the application. Want to show you what the yard looks like with the Kyllinga, and wrap up the video with our final analysis here. All right, let me show you this part first, because that actually looks better. As you go over here, you're going to see the yard have some discoloration in it out there. Now, believe it or not, I'm pretty sure this is more drought related than herbicide related. We went about 3 to 4 weeks with almost no measurable rain until this morning. So it finally got some rain. As you look over here by the sidewalk, it's even more pronounced from the probably shallower topsoil and also the heat coming off the road, which leads me to believe it's most likely drought related. So in some areas that are a little bit protected from the sunlight, the grass is significantly greener. So anyway, you know, you might jump to conclusions, but I got a feeling if you were to stick a shovel in the areas that are a little more brown, you probably would have less topsoil than over here. And then there's also just nowhere for it to hide. It's just getting full blasted by the sun. Now, as far as the Kyllinga goes, I mean, you can see what it's done. It looks kind of similar to what it looked like last time. I mean, it beat it up and burns it, and that's basically what it does. But unfortunately, I do think it's going to come back. This is just a temporary beat down that it puts on it. So it did what I expected it to do, okay? I mean, this is what we were going for, and that's definitely suppressed the growth of it. But it is going to come back most likely. But if you did another application, so you might do 6 ounces and then come back with 6 more. We did 9, so I could do 9 and come back with a lower rate and hit it one more time before it starts recovering. And maybe at that point you would actually control some of it. Now, one thing worth noticing, look at this. It doesn't seem to do a whole lot to the to this nutsedge at least. Now, possibly that popped up later, I don't know, but it looks like that was not as affected. Now there's one that looks like it was more affected than these here, but it definitely does quite a number on the Kyllinga. So, and that was the target weed. Now the other weed I wanted to check out that we were seeing a lot in this yard is the Virginia buttonweed. So let me see if I can find a Virginia buttonweed. Oh, here we go. So beat it up pretty good. Again, that it's not going to die. And you can see where this Bermuda grass is seriously drought stressed, but you can see some green in there. So I really think the application did very little damage. So I think we've accomplished our purpose. Again, you might have to follow up if you want to do that, but this is one option if you have a yard that's just totally covered in Kyllinga. Now there's other products out there, Certainty, Solero, you know, Blindside has Dismiss in it. So I mean, there's other options for Kyllinga. Dismiss is not the only one, but it's one of the cheaper ones if you want to get that quick burn down. And maybe if I'd hit it earlier in the life cycle, may even got better results. Appreciate you watching the video. I'm Jason Creel. If you hadn't done so, subscribe to the channel. There's over 900 videos on the channel. If you're in the weed control and fertilization business, let me encourage you to go to lawncarelife.com. There's a lot of resources for you over there.